Would you like a Minecraft 1.16 survival farm complex that fits inside a 27 by 27 square and has no less than 20 different farmable items coming out of it, including iron, food, resources, and also a trading centre? Well, don't you go anywhere. I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, in my Minecraft 1.16 farm tutorial series. Today, we are going to revisit a farm complex that we did a little bit over a month ago that worked beautifully in Minecraft 1.16. I've updated it for Minecraft 1.16.2, and I've added a load of stuff. We have got no less than 20 different things that we are going to be getting ourselves in this farm. That is iron, trading, beef, leather, wool, sugarcane, bamboo, wood, bone meal, and 2 ways on a bone meal actually, so that'd be 21 ways. Carrots, wheat, cobble, basalt, weeping vines, twisting vines, rotten flesh, cocoa beans, melons, pumpkins, and sweet berries. All of those within this 27 by 27 square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you around this complex so you can see how it's put together, and then I'm going to show you how to make some of the items, and I'm also going to point you towards some tutorials that I've done already, so as this one doesn't end up 4 hours long. Hopefully you should be able to get everything together then. And frankly, some of the things are so simple you don't really need a tutorial for, and we'll talk about those as well. I'm going to be putting a timestamp in the description for each of the individual farm sections, so if you know how to build one of these farms you can just skip to the next one or the next one or the next one. So this is a completely build your own tutorial. We're going to start having a look around, and we'll start at night time where you can see these trenches are dragging in these zombies. They can't get out, and these zombies are loving these villagers. This one and this one, which we'll talk about in a minute. They get trapped in that trench, and then the sun comes out in the day and all of their lovely drops get collected up in here, and we can see them in that chest right there. That is a really easy one. Now I've turned the sound down because this fella is noisy, and by noisy I mean sheep and cows and all sorts. But if we want to come inside, first off we've got this little lever here which we will come back to, but that's how we turn the iron farm on and off. Really dead simple. In we come to this area here. First off we come to our triple sheep farm. I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to do that fairly shortly, but that brings us plenty of wool over time and is completely automatic. We've got our cramming cow farm. Just climb up here, feed the cows, and you can collect up all of your meat and your leather right there. So that is beef, leather and wool catered for. Coming through this way, this is our Bonemeal Farm. It's pretty slow, but it will collect up bone meal completely automatically for you. You don't need to do a single thing. This is our tree farm. These trees just grow. Make sure you plant them up as soon as you pick them up with some saplings, otherwise you're going to end up with a spawnable block right there, and the iron golems could end up popping in the wrong place. Round the other side here, we have got our carrot farm. So this carrot farm collects everything just over here on this fence, and in this chest you can see we have got loads of carrots where this chap here is feeding this poor chap here. He never gets any food. In the centre we have got our trading post, and it's also where we generate our iron golems. You can see we've got 4 different villages here that we can trade with, and you can turn off the iron farm. You can see the irons going on over there. You can turn off the iron farm if you find it difficult to actually get one of these guys to trade with. You can get them whilst the zombie's down, but actually it's a bit tricky, so turn off the iron farm and it makes it dead easy for you. Round here we've got a basalt generator and also a cobblestone generator in a single building, and you can just plough through the basalt, plough through the cobblestone and collect loads and loads. Over here we've got a really simple crop farm. Round the back we've got dispensers that will dispense out water that will wash the crops into here, and you can collect them into this chest and then go inside and replant them at your leisure. You can't jump up and down on here, so you can't mess up your plants. Here we've got the simplest farm that ever was. It's cocoa beans planted on some jungle wood. Just pick them off, put them in your chest down there, replant them, and you're going to have cocoa beans for days. Right here we have got our vines farm. So this does weeping and twisted vines separately. You can also got a facility here to be able to grow them quickly using bone meal, but it does do it passively and it collects up inside that chest just down there. We've got our sweetberry bush farm, line of sweetberries underneath this plank here. Dead easy to do, and frankly you don't really need a tutorial, but I will talk about that in just a bit. And then you can store up your sweetberries in the chest here at the end. Right here we've got a melon and pumpkin farm. Melons growing one side, pumpkins growing the other, and being collected up in the chest in the middle. Very, very simple, and I'll show you how to make that. This is a sugarcane farm. Couldn't be more simple really. The sugarcane grows up, the observer sees it, gets collected in that minecart with hopper down at the end, and you can collect it in the chest. Here we have a triple bamboo farm. It is pretty good. You don't get massive yields, but it does it completely passively, so you don't have to worry about it yourself. It just comes along and grows a load of bamboo for you. I said we had two different ways of getting bone meal. A standard composter here, so if you don't want all your sweet berries, lob it in the chest at the top and that'll make your compost. You can also do that for the vines and a number of the other things that you're farming here as well, including this fruit too. And finally, the iron farm. Those villagers there are generating fear, which means the iron golem spawns, but only in this kill chamber, and gets collected down there. I'm going to show you how to make all of this right now. Now, some of these farms do require mobs, villagers, sheep, cows, and zombies to work. I'm not going to show you how to get them into the farms during this tutorial, but there are a load of other tutorials available, and I will link them in the description below that shows you how to get these villagers and these mobs into these farms. This square is 29 by 29 blocks, meaning the size inside it is 27 by 27, and almost the entire farm sits within this space. Now, before we build anything, we need to set up the on-off system for the central pod, because if we wait, everything will get in the way, and that will just be a real pain. Trust me, do it before you do anything else. So come to the very, very middle of your farm. So that is going to be 13 blocks from that way, 13 blocks from that way, 13 blocks from that way, and 13 blocks from that way, and place in a piston right there. Not a sticky piston, just a normal piston. And you want to dig 2 deep all the way to the end like this, and you should eventually come out past the edge exactly like that, and then come out 1 more, and then we're going to dig a hole that is 5 by 3. So this is 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, so that is 5, and this is also going to be 2 deep. The reason it's 2 deep is so as it's nice and hidden. Get that out like that, and in the corner here place a block, there place a block, there place a block, and there place a block. Get a repeater, put a repeater in like that, come to this block, repeater in there, a repeater in there, 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 and there, and set all these repeaters by right clicking on them 3 times to 4 ticks. Leave that repeater as it is, then get some redstone, and we're going to run a redstone line all the way along to this block underneath this piston. Now what happened is that will fire a strength 15 signal all the way into that block, and by the time it gets here it will still have signal, and that will push that piston up. That's what we're after. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place a lever on there, a redstone torch on there. That, you can see, starts up this clock, and it goes on and off by reversing the polarity of that torch there, and that just sends the signal backwards and forwards, sending that piston up and down in the middle. You can turn it off until you're ready just by flicking that lever, and that will permanently fix that to on. And then replace your dirt all the way around like that. Like that. That's ready to keep going. Now replace your dirt all the way across to the top, right across to the middle. And if you want, you can get rid of that piston and just replace that with a colour block, so you know that that's your centre. First up, sweetberry bushes. This one's a doddle. This is the southwest corner, and it starts 5 up from the bottom, 2 in from the side, and goes along 15. To make this one, simply place a fence post at each end of that 15 long straight line and put a slab on the top. So this is a bottom slab, so it is not spawnable, all the way from one to the other. And then underneath it, put a sweetberry bush all the way along. That should be 13 sweetberry bushes. When they grow up, you can just right click them, the berries will pop off, and you'll have them, and you won't be prodding yourself because you can't get into them because of that slab gets in the way. Next up, twisted and weeping vines. And this one comes off of the end of the sweetberry line exactly like that. Now there is a link to the tutorial on how to make this in the description below, but I'm going to stage this up bit by bit. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, Stage 3, and that's how it looks at the back. Stage 4, and the back looks like that. And that is it completed. Next up, cocoa beans. This one really doesn't need a tutorial. It is a 3x3 jungle wood square that's just come in from the edge of the farm. Don't forget to put a bit of carpet on top of it, otherwise this is spawnable. And then just put the cocoa beans everywhere. Next up, crop farm. This corner here comes in 6 from that side and 4 in from that side, and it is a 7x6 rectangle with a corner nibbed out. So this one's dead simple too. Nick out those 2 there and pop in a double chest. Get a hopper, take out the 2 behind and point those hoppers in there using shift click. Another hopper in there and another hopper in there like that. Then get some, I'm using oak logs, but this can be any structural block you like, and come all the way around to the end there. Miss out these 4, pop another one on there and come down there like that. You then want to go one more high along here, but not on the end one, and the same on this one as well. So that is a 2 high wall all the way around. Get yourself some fence gates and come around from the back and shift click fences on top of those hoppers, because that's all you need. Then come under here, nick out opposite there and there, get yourself a bucket of water, place a bucket of water there, bucket of water there, and then replace that with the dirt. Get some dispensers, you'll need 4, and place dispensers 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then just hoe this fella up and plant yourself some seeds. Now if you wanted to, you could do more carrots, but you'd already have a carrot farm. Maybe you want potatoes or beetroot, I don't know. You could do that in here as well. In each of these I need you to place a bucket of water, and then place a redstone line across the top of all 4 of those dispensers. And then on that last little log, get yourself a button and place it there. When you press the button, that's going to dispense the water. That will flush all the crops into the hoppers and you are away. There's only a couple of things that you need to do now. One is place a slab along there. That's going to stop anything from popping out and coming on top of those. And then also you need to put a roof across the entire top. It stops you being able to jump up and down on the farm, and as a result of that you're never going to damage your farmland. So come all the way across the top there, and then the very final thing you want to do is come inside, grab yourself 2 torches, put a torch there and there. That farm is done. Next up, basalt and cobblestone generator. Now there is a tutorial for the basalt generator that this is based off of in the description below, but I am going to go through this one stage by stage with you. Stage 1. Stage 2 is steps going all the way around and placing some rails on top of those hoppers. You also want to be putting a hopper facing into that hopper there, just literally straight downwards, shift click, and then come along, shift clicking so as they run into the front hopper. You're then going to grab yourself minecart with hoppers and you're going to put them on all 3 of these rails exactly like that. Grab yourself a temporary block and pop it there. Get some soul soil and place your soul soil in a row above those minecart with hoppers like that. Get a little temporary block in the shape of a T. You can get rid of that one now, get rid of that one, and then come into this little area between your hoppers and your wall and get a normal piston, not a sticky piston, and you're going to put a piston into all 3 of those. You're then going to aim and get the rail from underneath each of these minecart with hoppers, and you should be able to see the hitbox quite easily. Get a lever on top of the middle one, could be on the side of the middle one there if you wished. Throw that, that pushes the soul soil straight into those hoppers. Get rid of those. You can use those for another project later on. We've created another ring around here. We've put blue ice, make sure it is blue ice, otherwise it won't work, the other side of this soul sand, and we've also put some steps facing inwards towards these hoppers here. This is where the magic happens. We're going to put a bucket of lava there, there and there. That will flow over and into those areas. Already that has created some basalt on that side. And if you knock that out, more basalt will appear just like that. That's perfect. But we've not done anything here yet. So what we've got to do is put a bucket of water there, a bucket of water there. That will create a water in the middle. The lava flows over it, but it does not matter. And you'll see inside here, we've got some cobblestone. Knock that out. And bang, you get some stone. But if you don't use a silk touch pick, you're going to get cobblestone. Now, actually, if you have a silk touch pick, this is a stone generator as well as a cobblestone generator. Pop that out, keep popping it out, and it will keep generating your stone or your cobblestone, depending on what tool it is you are using. All that's left now is to put your lid on. And I'm going to use crimson slabs to go all the way over. And that is that. Now it's the small carrot farm. We have got a 7x5 rectangle of grass right in the corner there behind the basalt and cobblestone generator. I fenced off that area there, and I'm going to get an oak log, and I'm going to place an oak log there, and then I'm going to come out and create a little 3x3 there. I'm going to remove those two. I'm also going to get myself a chest, which I don't actually have in my inventory yet, which is ridiculous. Everything needs chests, right? I'm going to pop a chest there and there, placed like that. Take out that one. I'm going to put a hopper into that chest. We're going to put a hopper into that hopper, and then we're going to put another hopper into that hopper like that. On top of that hopper there, we're going to get ourselves the rail. I'm going to put a rail down, shift clicking like that. We're then going to get a minecart with hopper, pop it on top of the rail, then a slab, and place a slab in front of that minecart with hopper, then come behind it and remove the rail like that, and that will sink nicely just on top. Then we're going to get more of these woods, and we're going to finish off that ring, and we're going to come up another level like that. We're going to get some glass, and we're going to pop glass there, there, and there. Then we're going to come around the front, and I'm going to get a trap door, and on the bottom of the second one, I'm going to place the trap door, so you can see that is just too high for someone to be able to jump over. If they are inside, they can't quite get to it. There you go. That's perfect. Then we're going to have stone slab. I'm going to place stone slab on top all the way across, and this means that none of that area is spawnable. And the villager that we get into there, and you just drop him in through the hole in the top. Dead easy. I've just broken my glass, so let's just fix that. That then, the villager lives in there forever. Then come to the middle. Take out that middle block, place in a bucket of water, get a temporary block, doesn't matter what it is, I'm just going to use a bit of glowstone, it's not really very temporary block, but there you go. Put a composter on top of that and shift click a glowstone on top of the composter like that. Then just hoe up the entire area. That's perfect, and then plant it with carrots. We then just need to put a lid on top of this, and again we're going to use slabs and oak fence. And the oak fence is going to go there on that corner, there on that corner, there on that corner, and also on that corner. And we're just going to put a lid all the way across using this bottom slab. Don't overlap it. You don't want it overlapped. You literally just want it to cover across the part of the fence that is already there. However, you're going to want to leave this 2x3 gap right here, because we want to come up to the next bottom slab area, which is exactly like that, and do that on that height, and that will allow the farmer villager that's in this one to be able to get onto that slab to feed the carrots to the other villager. That's that bit done. Your small fully automatic Bonemeal Farm is a little 7x5 rectangle surrounded by another fence. Let's make this fella. Come to the centre of the fence that's on the side of the carrot farm and take out that middle post, take out that one as well, and that there. Place yourself a chest. Get yourself a hopper running into that chest, and on top of that hopper place a composter using shift click. Then come right into the middle of your rectangle, take out the hole and put in some water. Place a spruce slab in the top half of that, oak fence on top, and a torch there. That is going to light everything up beautifully for you. We then need to hoe this all out and get some seeds in it. So it will look exactly like that. Then get fence on each corner again, exactly like this. This will raise the height to 2. That will stop the farmer from being able to jump up and down on his crops and ruining the farm. And just stick a lid on it. That's that bit done. Tree farm, super simple. Come to the centre and go to one side of the centre and count up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then get yourself another slab, pop it on top of that and come to the side. You can get rid of all of those now and bring this out so as it is 7 across from that first one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And then get yourself an oak sapling right in the middle and missing a gap, place 4. So that should be underneath those bits there, and then in between place a torch. That is basically the tree farm. Next up is the sheep farm or the wool farm, and it fits into the corner exactly like that. I've linked a tutorial down in the description below for this exact farm that I did a tutorial for a little while ago, so I won't go through it again here, but you can see how to make it right there. The beef and leather farm slots in just like that. You've got a little nib poking out that is 1 block away from the chest of that wool farm. This one is actually a doddle, and it's a variation of one that I've done before, but it's slightly different because we need to make sure that it's completely non-spawnable on the top. Get yourself a double chest with a hopper facing into it, and then get a dispenser, I recommend on the inside, poking in like that. Get solid blocks going all the way around there, and then get glass facing that one on top of the dispenser, and then solid blocks in all 4 of the corners like that. Then what I want you to do is get yourself either a glass again, which is there, or that could be a solid block, and then you need some steps. Grab yourself your steps and put them upside down there so as you can still open that chest beautifully, but it blocks everything in. Come to the side, inside that dispenser put a bucket of water, and then shift click a button onto the side of it. That will then dispense water into and out of every time you press it. Then come to the side, place 2 ladders there so as you can get up on top, and then a post right there. Now that's a temporary post because once you've got your cows in, put your post like that and then block off, so that leaves the cows inside. And then finally, most importantly, get yourself some carpet and place a carpet on each of those 4 corners to stop that being spawnable. The glass is already not spawnable. The bamboo farm slots in next to the meat and leather farm exactly like that, just 1 block gap of separation. Again, this one not too tricky, and I have done one very similar before. Put yourself chests in there and put a hopper there and a hopper there. Then what you need to do is get yourself a powered rail there, a powered rail there, a standard size rail right there, and then a block there, and 3 blocks at the back. That's stage 1. Stage 2, lift it up a level and put some dirt in and the minecart with hopper. Stage 3, place 3 upside down steps in front of the dirt, 3 glass on top, and then bring these sides up another 2, and at the back place 3 pistons, not sticky pistons. Stage 4, place a single observer block with a little redstone face facing outwards in the middle. That could go on either one of the sides as well, above the pistons, and then behind it bring blocks just under the level on the back of the pistons with redstone dust going across all 3. That means when a redstone fart comes out of the back of the observer, it runs all 3 pistons and fires all of them, making sure that all the bamboo gets collected up. You can then plant your bamboo. Put a bamboo in each of those and then bring up your glass front all the way to the top, the same level as you've got your wood here. And then you can pop a lid on it. Now, I quite like using upside down slabs. Stone is good because then if it gets hit by lightning, it doesn't get boosted. And you can also put a little bit of light in it if you wish, just for looks, it doesn't matter, above the observer, because you know that the bamboo will never grow above that height. Pop that glass back. That is a finished farm. What will happen is when the bamboo goes in front of that observer face, it will fire all 3. The reason we've gone a couple above that observer is because sometimes the bamboo at the sides can grow faster, and as a result you can get just a little bit more bamboo before that middle one reaches it, and it just makes the yield ever so slightly higher. The sugarcane farm fits in here, and those long stripes are 11 blocks long, so the entire width is 13 blocks, and you can see here it's right against the fence and 1 block separating away from that beef farm. Place a double chest at one end, just 1 in, and a hopper going into the far side, the one on the furthest in the middle. Place a powered rail at either side and then run a normal rail all the way across between the 2. Don't forget to shift click over the hopper. Then increase your loggage all the way around like this until you come around to the other side. I like to put in front a glass row. Don't have to, it's just my personal preference. Jump over the gap that you've got here with that chest. Then you need to grab yourself some dirt. And the reason we got dirt is because that's something that the sugarcane can actually grow on. You can use sand, but I find it a lot harder to work with. So bring dirt all the way along on top of that row of rails. And then behind here, you need to put another row of any type of block you want. I use in dirt simply because you can, but if you want to have a decorative block, so as when you look inside you can see it, that's absolutely fine too. Then bring the row of dirt all the way around until you get right to the other end, and you've created yourself a channel in the middle here. And in the middle of it, so you're coming out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right in the middle, pop yourself a bucket of water. That will flow the entire width of the channel. If it doesn't, you've made it too long. I've brought the level just one more higher, and I've put glass at the front purely for visibility, and this to cover up the dirt, this wood, it just looks a lot nicer. And then cover up the water with any block you want. Now bear in mind you are going to be able to see this block, so if you want it to be decorative, feel free. I'm just going to use cobble because it's dirt cheap, literally. And then put a piston facing inwards all the way along on top of that temporary block. And then put another one of that block all the way along except for the middle. So in this instance it is 5 on one side and 5 on the other. Then get an observer, come around the other side, pop an observer so the redstone bum is facing out towards the back. Then get another row of these blocks all the way across the back like that, and put a redstone line right the way across past the observer and to the end. That redstone will fire all of the pistons anytime a redstone fart comes out as a result of that observer seeing a change in front of it. You can then build up this to the level of the wall there, and also the glass too. Plant a piece of sugar cane on all of that dirt once you've got the walls up to the right level, and then bring a lid right across the top. Now I'm using a slab. Again, if you wish to, you could use glass, or you could use a full block if you've not got any slabs. Don't know why you wouldn't have slabs if you've got a full block, and put carpet on top of it. It is just to make sure that it is completely unspawnable. We then just need to put in a minecart with hopper all the way in the corner on that redstone there. Perfect. Flick a lever on that side, pop a lever all the way on this side as well, and turn both of them on. That will send that minecart with hopper backwards and forwards forever, collecting up all of the sugarcane that gets flicked off as a result of those pistons firing. The melon and pumpkin farm fits snugly right against the front of that sugarcane farm like that, but you can still access that chest without any problems. I've removed some of the orange wool just so as you can't see it, and obviously all around the rest of the farms you want to remove it as well. Take out those two, place in a double chest, come around the back and shift click a hopper into the back of the chest. If you take the chest out you can see the nibs are facing towards it because of that shift click. Then take out those two and get some steps and place steps in like that. That means that you can reach into the hopper from the inside. Take out that block and that block, the corner of the L, place in a water there, and then place a solid block. I'm using wood there, and again at the back of the water like that. Then grab yourself a piston and face a piston over the top of the water so you can no longer see it, and it's backed onto that block. Get an observer, place an observer so the redstone bum is facing outwards. Come this side also, redstone bum facing outwards. Get some redstone, pop there, and similarly there and there. That's brilliant. Then grab yourself a hoe. Doesn't have to be netherite, can be a wooden hoe if you like, and till that soil there and that soil there. Stage 1. What's left now is dead easy. Glass block there, glass block there. Then plant melon or pumpkin in that one, melon or pumpkin in that one. You can have one of each if you want both, or if you just want pumpkins, do 2 pumpkins. Just want melons, do 2 melons. It's entirely up to you. And then place a glass block, that's a temporary block there, that covers across the entirety of the farm right to the front like that. And that's why we got the steps here, so as you can reach in and get hold of that really simply. We also then need to place carpet on top of that and that. I like to put carpet across the top of these rather than glass, and carpet on top of that and that. That then entirely stops this from being spawnable. What you can do as an option is place a slab there, and it just makes absolutely sure that no melon or pumpkin will pop out. But I've got to be honest, I haven't had one pop out, and I've tested it loads. The Iron Farm Kill Chamber compound is next, and you can see from the step here in the Melon and Pumpkin Farm, you make a 1 gap and then you have a 5x4 rectangle with the corner being 1 gap away from that Melon and Pumpkin Farm step. Stage 1, run a glass horseshoe around the 3 sides that are closest to your Melon and Pumpkin Farm, and then the side that's furthest away, the 4 long side, place a double chest in there like that, and then steps above that upside down so as you can access that chest. And then I want you to bring these up another 2 rows like this. So that should now be 3 high. Then what I want you to do is come inside. You need to get yourself a hopper and place a hopper running into the chest. You only need 1, and then not the one block above the hopper but the block above that. Place a sign, don't have to type anything into it. At the same side next to it, place a sign. On the side next to it here, place a sign. And for good measure, so golems don't get stuck, place a sign there as well. Then in the opposite corner to the hopper, place a block of water. That'll run all the way over to the hopper. And above the sign that's lowest, place a block of lava. That will now be your perfect iron golem kill chamber. Of course, it doesn't work yet. There's got to be villagers involved, and we're going to do that pod in just a moment. But before we do, we're going to come to this corner of the iron farm, which is kind of the back corner. You've got your hopper just there. We're coming to this corner here, and we're going to take out those 2 blocks, put a chest in there and a hopper in there, and then place a composter, shift clicking on top of that hopper, place a hopper on top of the composter, and then come around the front and place a chest on top of the hopper. That is our composter Bonemeal Farm number 2. Seriously, that one's so easy. Before we do our central villager pod, which is going to be the pinnacle of this entire farm, I just want to do the bone meal section. Come around to the edge of your carrot collection pod here and dig yourself a row out all the way around the edge of your farm, and just keep going all the way past the trees, past this compost area here where you're making more bone meal, right to the edge here, and that is your last block. I then want you to dig it down 2 further deep all the way around. Once that is 3 deep, come along to around about your tree farm area, and in the bottom place yourself a double chest. Take out those 2 blocks, take out those 2 blocks, take out those 2 blocks there, so as you can just about see what's going on. Then replace those 2 blocks like that, and then inside here get yourself your hoppers, and there's a lot of hoppers, and you're going to be running hoppers all the way to the edge of your row in this direction. Make sure you shift click them so they're all facing into that chest, and then same in the opposite direction. When you turn the corner, make sure you are facing into all of the hoppers again, and then grab trapdoors and run a trapdoor all the way along the side and open them up like this. Place one there, open it up, and all the way along to the edge before you get to this last one here, and place a trapdoor right there. Open these guys up and then get a little bit more ground, place a ground there, and then on the other side, on the one next to it, place a trapdoor on the bottom one there, place that like that, and then get more trapdoors all the way along to the edge. Open them up. That trap is now ready to roll. What you can now do is you can fill this up with dirt, because you don't need that bit anymore, and you can fill that up, replace that with a trapdoor like that, so you open up the trapdoor and you can access your chest with absolutely no problems whatsoever. If you wish, you could put a torch down there if you're worried about things spawning, but you don't really need to worry about it. Close that up. That is completed. That is going to give you your rotten flesh, and every now and again the odd skeleton drop too, so you might get the odd arrow and the odd bone, a little bit of a bonus. The central villager pod is right in the middle. It is 9 across, it's almost a square, it's kind of got the corners cut off. First off, place a solid block all the way around the outside of that 9 square with the corners cut off. do a little 3x3. I use a different block just to separate it out. And this one in the middle here, where the orange block is, if you remember we did it right at the beginning, that will replace where the piston should be. Now put the piston in there. You can see that is powered. It's pushing upwards. Put the sand on top of the piston like that. That is stage 1. Stage 2 actually has nothing to do with this pod at all. And that is making sure that there are no more spawnable blocks in the entire compound. And the way we do that is by turning them all into paths, and some of them perhaps, if you fancy it, into bushes, like that. Because bushes are also not spawnable. Do that in the entire compound. Be really vigilant to make sure you get absolutely every single one. You can see we have done exactly that. Put a little bit of bushing around, but mostly we have pathed the whole lot up. Make sure you don't forget this bit that hides around the back of that sheep farm, because that's dead easy to forget. The next thing we're going to do is bring in the bed. So we're going to put one bed in there, one bed in there, one bed in there, and one bed in there. That leaves you with a gap there to be able to put your workstations in, which is exactly what you're after. So just put one of your workstations in there, one of your workstations in there, one of your workstations in there, and one in there as well. Then make sure that you spade up everything else in here to make that non-spawnable too, because the golems will spawn literally anywhere they can in a spawnable way. We want to make sure it's only in that kill chamber right there. Then come up with stone slab and run stone slab as a roof across all of the outside like this, coming in like that all the way around. But when you come to the center, and when I mean the center, I mean above this area here, you need to make a little bit of a jump, and especially the bit above there, because that we do not want to have as a roof flat against that sand, or it could injure your zombie. So we've got to come all the way around like this. I'll be back when I finish the roof. So the roof looks like that. You can see we've got a hole directly above where that sand is, and we've made that cover just a little bit larger, just in case there's any cheeky sunlight comes through. That's where the zombie is going to sit. When you get your villagers in, before you bring in the zombie, make sure they take up those professions, otherwise you won't get the advantage of the trading post that is part of this farm complex. Make sure you use whatever villages it is you want to use. You can cycle through getting the best trades as well. If you bring in the villager, place the workstation, and it's not the trade you want, delete the workstation and place it down again. That villager will take up a new trade, and you can keep doing that until you get the trade you want. If you want to lock it in, just trade with him and he'll never change again. I've called my zombie Bob because that's what he does. He bobs up and down. Every time he pokes his head up, as a result of that sand block pushing him up, the villagers stop being panicked and they get rest. And in the night time, that means they get into their bed, which means that you never lose out on the iron farms. Some of the iron farms in previous versions work fine. In 1.16, if they don't have a little rest, your iron farm will stop producing iron after about one stack. And if that happens, you're just going to be sad, so don't let it happen. This is why the clock system is there. You'll also notice that Bob is sitting inside that sand. He's glitched inside it. It just keeps him from moving around a little bit more. It doesn't affect the farm in any way, apart from just making sure he gets lifted up out of sight of those villagers every now and again. As soon as that zombie is in, the villagers are going to get a bit spooked and iron golems are going to start to spawn. If you've done it right, they will only spawn inside this kill chamber here. If you've missed even one block outside the kill chamber, for example a grass block in a little hidden spot, perhaps hidden between the crop farm there at the end of that redstone line, that's an easy one to miss, then that iron golem is almost certainly going to spawn outside of this kill chamber. I don't know why, that's just the way Minecraft works. Make sure you get it all. And this farm now will produce you loads and loads and loads of stuff. Now put gates in the fences so you can get in wherever you would like and enjoy your farm. Now, because you have made this farm completely iron golem spawn proofable, there goes another one, it is also mob spawn proofable, which means you could build your own base, perhaps in the top of the Bonemeal Farm there, the villager pod there. On top of that, as long as there are no spawnable blocks in your base, with maybe a bed or crafting stations you could have up there, otherwise the iron golems will be visiting you in the night time. So it actually doubles up not just the farm complex, but the ultimate farm base as well. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them, and I will keep on making them. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club. I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.